You can sit
Can
on the
you
table
explain?
if you want. Yeah. So men can't be women. The definition of a woman is an adult human female. The definition of female is a person who falls into the sexual category capable of producing ova.
Can you talk a little slower?
Yeah. So a woman is defined by Oxford as an adult human female. A female is defined as a person who falls into the sexual category capable of producing ova. Men cannot fall into that category, therefore they cannot be female, and by nature of not being able to be female, also cannot be women.
Okay, so you're talking about the female sex.
Well, yeah, because in the definition of woman, it requires you be of the female sex. It's an adult human female, according to Oxford, which is the most credible dictionary in the English language.
Okay. Adult human female.
Yep.
So what about minors?
Minors aren't women. We wouldn't say, we wouldn't look at a toddler and say that's a woman. We would say that's a girl, right? Different.
Okay, so just for sake of conversation, are you just talking about adults?
Well, it depends on how you want to take the conversation. I don't think that children should be allowed to transition their sex. But like, we're talking, men cannot be women is what we're arguing. Men cannot be women. Adult men cannot be adult women.
Okay.
And the definition the definition remains the same. We just removed the adult part from it.
Okay. Can you explain why you think that?
Yeah, I'm just logically following the definitions of each and realizing that it is impossible for men to be of the sexual category capable of producing ova. By virtue of that, they also cannot be women because that's inextricably tied to the definition of woman.
So you seem like you're going off of the Oxford Dictionary to be like the ultimate authority.
It is the most credible
this,
dictionary in the English language.
Okay.
If you have an alternate definition, we'd love to hear that as well.
Okay. Can you give some more background? Like, I don't believe that somebody would have this strong of opinion and be like, well, it's what the dictionary says.
Yeah, I don't favor lying to people. I think that calling a person something they are not is a lie, especially if they're mentally ill and believe that they are something. I don't think that we should feed into their mental illness and make their mental state worse.
But I'm trying to go back to, the start, where you're like, my basis of this belief is that I read the definition of a female in the dictionary.
Yeah, words mean things, yeah.
That's agreed upon.
And so, I wouldn't say that...
Not black, right?
But that's... I just have a feeling that you wouldn't go this fucking hard on something because you read something just in a dictionary and you're like...
I mean, I also have friends who have been affected by this specific issue, like Paula Scanlon, who had to change right next to Leah Thomas in the UPenn women's swim locker room out of her wet swimsuit, which took 20 minutes to get on and off, while Leah Thomas's penis was hanging out. So I obviously I have strong feelings about this. I also have a girlfriend, and I hope to one day have daughters.
That's my thing for me, right? I'm
not
just married to the truth, but I have a niece, and I look at that as one day also having a daughter. And all of these things, it may just be a definition for you, but words mean things, and they have impact on public policy, like bathrooms, locker rooms, whatever the case is.
So what's your feeling? I know this is kind of getting away from like trans issues, but how do you feel about co-ed saunas, nude saunas?
Well, those are run by private institutions, so if the private sauna chooses to have it be co-ed, then that's their choice, and if people choose to go there, that's their prerogative, right? But if you have a public institution, like a state university, that is requiring women to change in a room with men and not accommodating them with separate facilities, that's a problem for me because it's taxpayer funded and there's no other option.
Okay. So I hear that your friend was like really uncomfortable changing in the same locker room as somebody who has a penis. And what was her like solution, or like what would she have wished had happened? Would she have been fine if she was in that locker room and she didn't see genitals?
Well, that's the nature of a locker room, is you see genitals in the locker room. There wasn't a solution. She had to go the rest of her college career with Leah Thomas in the locker room. The school threatened to take action against them if they complained about it or made a public fuss about it. So they had no options. It was either be kicked off the swim team, something they loved doing, or essentially have to stare at a man's penis and have that man stare back at them for the rest of their swim career. And to be clear, Leah
I
Thomas...
seriously doubt
Sorry.
anyone was doing any staring in a locker room.
Leah Thomas is a female-attracted man who had previously dated a woman on that swim team and then transferred to that swim team from the men's team after they had all, if you're at a school and you play on a sports team, you know the opposite team, right? They knew William Thomas to be a member of the men's team, and then all of a sudden their coach brings William Thomas into the girls' locker room and says, "This is William Thomas. He is now Leah Thomas. He will be swimming with you guys for this until the end of his career. He is a woman now. He will be changing it."
I just
Any drugs, without taking any drugs, no certain period of time or anything like that. Just I'm a woman, and now you can compete in women's sports against women and change next to them, 2 feet away from them.
I have compassion for your friend because it sounds like she was uncomfortable, and it didn't seem like there was much effort done on anybody's part to make sure that this very vulnerable environment of a locker room, that so many things are at play, whether it's gender, the culture of nudity in the U.S., all these sort of taboo things are very much on display, and so I have compassion for your friend.
What do you think about it?
And it was the whole team too, by the way. The whole team was uncomfortable about it. The majority of the team, they just couldn't speak out about it.
So
didn't they make them take? This is the crazy thing to me, is that the women speak out, they're uncomfortable about it, and then they're told by the administration that they needed to go take classes or be in places where they can learn about why this is okay. So you say, I'm uncomfortable, but now the administration is forcing you to go take some classes or courses in order for you to understand why you're the problem. That's a problem that I have.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe there could have been more discussion, and there could have been more steps taken to make sure that everyone was comfortable.
Just affirm the belief that biological men are women. That is the solution. That is literally the answer to it all. Because if we don't have to play these fantasies, especially if you want to do this at your own house, I don't care. You want to go to the bar and identify as a woman so you can get a cheaper drink? I don't care. I have a problem with it when right? Right? Let's do that. But the reality is, I have a problem with it when it's things like this. And you just said that you understand why a person's uncomfortable. You don't like that a person's uncomfortable. And now we double it down by letting the administration say that they are the problem.